Yes, I'm learning quick. I'm learning quick, and no one out here knows who Fresno State is, so I got to root for somebody else.
Has it been like ever since you saw a guy like with a tight end skull cap throwing passes next to you playing quarterback?
Yeah, oh yeah. You throw him a pass and he throws it back just as good. It's pretty interesting. He's got a cannon arm. He can run routes. He's tough. All those things, and you see why he's been such a productive football player.
Derek, you've literally grown up in this game, whether it's watching your older brother or playing yourself. What's your earliest memory?
Oh, my earliest memories. My brother was playing a rainy game in high school, and I remember watching that. The rain was flooding, the steps. At least it felt like it. I didn't know what rain was until I moved to Houston. It was Bakersfield kind of rain, where we get 12 inches a year. And so I just remember one of my earliest memories watching my brother play, and I was like, fell in love with the game. I didn't even know why. I just, remember growing up watching the Cowboys in the 90s. That was my mom's side. My dad's side was Raider fans. He was his biggest Kenny Stabler fan there was, my dad. And, so I got both worlds. I remember going to church, coming home and watching the Cowboys with my grandpa because he was from Texas. And that's why my middle name is Dallas because of that. So I have early memories watching Dion, high step, on picks and punt returns and all that kind of stuff. And have gotten to, talk to him over the years. And it's pretty surreal, what football can do. You dream of it as a kid. Now you get to do it. I've been doing it. This will be my 10th year. It's crazy.
Was your brother your favorite quarterback then?
Yeah, he's my hero. My dad first, because my dad showed me what hard work looked like. He worked in the car business, my whole life, and he was out the door before I woke up, and as I was going to bed, he was coming home, and he worked hard for our family, and still would come get me out of bed. Hey, let's go throw outside real quick. Don't tell mom, and he showed me what hard work looks like. That no matter what time of day, you still put the time and the energy in with your family, with your kids. He's even if we were struggling, we never felt like it, because he never made us feel that as kids. And so my dad was my first hero, but my brothers, both of them playing football, I just admired them, And then as I got older, I loved, Brett Favre, loved Peyton Manning. I've always loved those guys in college. Started, watching Aaron, play, and over the years, we've gotten to know Aaron. I don't know if Aaron will talk to me since I stole his receiver last year anymore. But, we, been able to talk to those guys and get to know them over the years. And the Manning family, Peyton was great. He sent me Archie's number, sent me Cooper's number because they, out here. And just like I said, just coming full circle now. Just like some of the guys you grew up, loving, watching them play. And you get a text message and it says their name. It's kind of weird. But hopefully be able to do that for some kids someday.
This is, I think, your first chance working out with Alvin.
Yeah.
I know Michael reached out to you. Is this the first time you communicated with him, just being on the field with him, and maybe your interaction with him so far?
No, me and Alvin have been talking, about certain things, and what a great guy. I just absolutely love him. Great teammate, great energy about him, and very explosive. He's so smooth on film. You really just don't know how good he is. Obviously you see the film, but then when you get in person, he ran a couple routes. I remember I looked at Jake today and I was like, bro, that's not normal, and you just feel his presence when he's on the field. We were able to hit him on a couple little routes and things like that and see him move. And, I think just being around him just for a little bit, in the building, people don't really know how smart he is at football. What he knows where to say, he knows what route to run, he knows where to get, he knows how to use his help. And, that combined with his athletic ability, you see why now he's had all that production. And so, we've been talking, the whole time, but it was cool to see him in person for sure.
I'm sorry. How good would you say Marshawn Lattimore is, among NFL quarterbacks, and what is it maybe from your perspective that makes him that player?
It's his tenacity, 100%, and he's one of the top corners. You can sit up there and put rankings, and everyone loves to put on Instagram and get attention. And who really cares? He's one of the top corners in the NFL. He's an elite corner, and I think his overall competitiveness, his tenacity, his drive, I think that's what separates him. You know, I mean, you just watch him today. He just competes. You know, like a lot of guys are very talented, but they don't compete the way that he does. He's talented and he competes that way. You know, and then playing against him, I've played against him too in Las Vegas, and there's just certain routes you don't throw his way. You know, we got away with one. We completed one on it, and we got away with it because he jumped it and we threw it high, and he could have had that one. But you know, I just think about playing him over the years. There's certain balls I'm going to work over here. You know, and not a lot of guys make you do that, but he's one that does.
Like what? Like what would be something you?
I'm not going to give all my secrets away. Not yet. Not till week 1. Then I'll tell him.
Derek, Alvin had in his first 4 seasons, he caught over 80 passes a year. You've never really had that. Is that philosophical? Is it roster makeup? And is it something you guys have talked about weaving into your game, throwing to the running back a lot?
I mean, I'm going to do my best to get us, you know, in the right situation, make the best decision with the football. We're in a great situation here with all the weapons that we do have. That we don't just have to force it to one guy. And so, you know, if he has 80, awesome. You know, if he has 20, awesome. As long as we're winning, you know, that's what we want to do. And so, sure, there's ways. As soon as he can, I've lived this. I've answered these questions when we throw Waller the ball. Why are we only throwing to the tight end? You know, what about Olave? What about what about Rashid? And then we're going to throw the ball to, you know, Alvin. He's going to have 12 catches for 150. I mean, why are we checking the ball down? Why are we? It's like, dude, bro. A decade of this, I'm just over it, you know. And so I'm going to make the best decisions. Whoever catches the balls, they catch the balls. I'm going to do my best. And I'm sure someone on YouTube out there will see one that I missed and think that he knows the read. So I'll just do my best to get however many catches he gets them.
Is there something, though, that working with him, like, I mean, it takes a unique kind of player that you know, I mean, it's not like an offense throws to the running back, but it's like Alvin Kamara is a certain kind of player.
Well, I mean, we watch, you know, football every week. It's hard to get chunk plays in the NFL. You know, when they happen, you got to hit them. You know, and a lot of the times the ball is getting checked down. You know, and you want to make good decisions, keep the ball, especially with a good defense. Make good decisions. Well, what a weapon that we have! That we have some weapons that we can utilize down the field, and if it's not there, get it to a guy like Alvin. You know, and there may be a time where he gets 5 catches in a row because they want to play soft, and we, you know, go down the field with little chunks. And he's the kind of guy that can take one of those and make all of us in this room miss and get through the door, you know. And so, yes, there's ways to utilize him for sure. There's ways to set up plays to make it look like you're trying to do something just to get him the ball, and things like that. So I leave that up to Pete. You know, that's Pete's job and RC's job. But for me, whatever play's called, I'm going to try and just disperse it the way it should.
Hey, Derek, the Saints are one of the 4 teams that are eligible for Hard Knocks. What was that experience like, just having cameras around all the time?
I'll say this. I loved my experience because the producers, everybody, they were so great. You know, they would, you know, if I said something or, you know, made an audible or a check and the camera's on me, I'd look at them and I'd be like, yes, give you a thumbs up. They'd walk away. Like they wouldn't, you know, they weren't, you know, so intrusive. They're trying to give secrets away. They're just trying to tell a story, you know, and, you know, let the fans in on what it looks like, even a small picture of what it looks like, you know, and I think they do a great job. So I had a great experience with their crew. I don't know if it's the same crew every time, but if it's the crew or whatever crew we worked with, they were great. And so, you know, is it my favorite thing to do? No, I'd rather there be no cameras, you know, and I just go work and then we go win football games. You know, that's just my personality and what I've kind of grown into. But if we have to, make the most of it.
Derek, when you were working off to the side with Michael Thomas on back shoulder throws, you said, I'm 32 years old, Mike. Can you give some context to that?
Oh, yeah, because I'm pretty sure they don't want me making him run too much right now. And so I was trying to take the blame on my age, even though I don't feel 32, I feel 22. I was trying to put the blame on me on why I couldn't throw him any more passes. Mike, I'm 32, I can't throw that many passes. So, but as you saw, we threw him anyway. So.
How has that connection been going with him? And just to see what Mike Thomas can do, a lot of other receivers can't do. How has it been working off to the side with him individually?
It's unbelievable. I mean, the first thing that you see when he is right when he walks in the room, you're like, he plays wide receiver, sweet, you know, looks like a linebacker. And you shake his hand, and his hands are just massive. You know, he's got strong hands, and you see why he's caught all those contested passes and, you know, over his career. And so, you know, just I think we all know the thing that separates him is his mentality. You know, he's talking about injuries. He's talking about he's been through a lot. You know, Mike's been through a lot. You know, on the personal end of just trying to deal with a lot of getting back on the same track and, trying to get back to, playing the full season, all that kind of stuff. And everyone's asking these questions. And there's no denying when he stood up here, his mindset is awesome. He's dealt with a lot, and he still has that same killer instinct, and I think that that's the thing that separates him because, like I said, him and Marshawn, I think that those are two guys that their mindsets are just different than most guys. There's a lot of talented people, but they have the right mindsets, and it's cool to see.
Do you feel pretty comfortable in terms of where you're at and learning the system right now?
Yeah. I feel comfortable. I never want to say I got it. Even years down the road when you ask me, I never want to feel like, oh, I got it. You never want to feel that way. You always want to push the boundaries and push the limits. And so we've been pushing the boundary and pushing the limits. You get a few things that you feel confident about, and you keep moving. And so, do I feel like we could play a game? Yeah, we could go out there and we could play a game. But there's still so much detail and so much work to be done that I'm going to say that in week 16, you guys are going to be annoyed with me. But there's still work to go.
Knowing that you're going to play with such a good defense here, it's been really good for years. When you approach the game any differently, knowing that a punt isn't necessarily a bad thing when you got that defense.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a tough question to answer because either way I answer it, someone will find a way to make someone feel bad, And so we have a good defense. I know that I don't have to force many passes. I also know I don't have to play perfect to win a football game. And so that was one of the intriguing things about coming here was, there was times that, if we didn't score or do something in a certain game the way it was going, it's like, it's gonna be tough to win this one, And so, just over the course of time, these guys have played really good defense. Coaches are unbelievable. They make it really hard at practice. I mean, the completions that you guys see, it's tight windows. They make it really hard. And that's only going to make it a lot more fun when the games come. And so, for sure, you can, as the quarterback, like I said, especially with the talent and certain guys that we have, like you don't have to force every pass. There's a time and a place that, hey, you got to rip one. Hey, you have to give it a chance. If you don't throw it, we're going to, you got to throw the ball down the field. There's time and a chance like that. But, when you got opportunities to do it. But if not, I can just, be a surgeon, try and pick them apart the best that I can. It's tough to do, but you try your best to do that and play the game and try and let guys make plays, with the ball in their hands and all that kind of stuff down the field, 5 yards at the line of scrimmage, all that. I think everything's open when you know that, you can take a chance here. You can do this. You can check it down here because, the defense, more times than not is good at getting the ball back. And so, for sure, there's definitely a mindset for me that I don't have to make, every crazy throw. But that's not going to stop me from being aggressive. I can't help it,
Derek, beyond being just teammates with Mario Davis, you guys are friends. What kind of individual and human being do you think he was or is?
DeMario? Oh, he's one of the most solid men you'll ever meet. And, he's someone, this weekend he sent me a little video. I think everyone probably saw the softball ladies, them speaking and just how real it was, and that's coming from 2 10-year vets. I hope kids get to see like this, he's a veteran. I'm a veteran. We've played this game at a high level and trying to play at a higher level, trying to be better. And we're sitting here telling people like, we've had success in this business and it'll give you happiness for a little bit, but true joy comes from the Lord, and that's the kind of conversations that we have. And, and it's hard to, so many people have so many questions, so it's hard to understand and comprehend at times, but, DeMario's a guy that hopefully he can explain it, better than I can. But, we send stuff like that back and forth. He sent it to me and I was just inspired by that video that even in that moment, that's where their mindset was, what a beautiful thing that is for the younger generation to see, especially this next generation that's coming. Everybody's telling them who they should be and what they can do, all this kind of stuff. And it's crazy, so for those ladies to stand up on their platform, like everyone is allowed to in this country, I thought it was awesome. And for DeMario to send that to me, it just says like, he's like, he's solid. Like he could go through anything. I think everyone would agree. DeMario will go through anything. He's solid, that he'll be all right. And that's one thing I love about him is that he gets me, encouraged. He fires me up with how solid he is every single day. how consistent he is. And so, we have conversations like that all the time. That's just one, but we talk about other things and and those kind of stuff. But now he's off in Tennessee, so I don't get to see him as much. So,
What was the bow fishing experience like?
man, y'all didn't tell me how awesome. Any of y'all been bow fishing? You been?
Yeah.
Like 2 of y'all. It's electric. Foster texted me like while we were all on the boats, and he's like, "Bro, are you good?" Because he knows. I was like, "Bro, like I'm from California, I was in Houston, but I didn't do this, And I said, "Bro, I'm a swamp person." Like I said, this is awesome, And because like to me, it's like quarterback. You got to see it moving. You got to hit the target. And when I saw that big alligator gar, now it freaked me out when they threw it on the boat and he started hitting it in the head with a hammer. But I was like, bro, what are you doing? But it was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, that was a lot of fun.
This is the time of year when teams start coming together along with camp.
Yeah.
When you start bonding a little bit. You seem very conscious of your role in that as the quarterback. I mean, how important is that to you to kind of foster that?
Yeah, I'm just trying to be better, for a better teammate every year. There's things last year, and while learning a new system and, trying to go through certain situations and philosophies and all this kind of stuff where I don't think that they got the best version of me because there was so much going on. And I didn't really sit it down and just make it football again, And football is the ultimate team game. And it's about your teammates. It's about loving one another. It's about having each other's back and making sure that there's a certain level of respect between each other, that I got your back and I know that you have mine. And so while learning the offense and while doing all of these things, I'm trying to make it a point to, reach out and get to know these guys, and ask them questions, make sure I'm communicating with everybody, making sure that they know that no matter what section of the, sideline that they're on while the offense is out there, or if you're in the huddle, whatever part of the huddle you're in, wherever you're at, whatever position, that you know something about me and I know something about you, and you can go, if you want to go fast, you go alone, but if you want to go far, you got to go together. I've always believed that. And so I'm trying my best to just unify. And that's with the coaching staff. It's not us versus them. Like we all have to be together. And I've learned that over my years. The most success that I've had in this game is when everyone's on the same page, pushing in the same direction. It's not them versus us versus them. It's us against everybody else, and we're all going the same way. And so I've just gotten back to really what I believe in, just as a football player in general, regardless of quarterback. I believe that the team has to be like this so that when it, Pat Hill always said this, you may break the outside of the fist, but as long as it stays closed, what's on the inside is protected, And Pat Hill used to say that to me all the time, and I believe that with everything in me.
Derek, on that note of team camaraderie, like the boat fishing trip, I saw the picture with Michael Thomas and also with Nick Anderson, who's a two-lane guy undrafted. I'm wondering if you obviously got the chance to talk to him a little bit about his journey and the other guys on the boat.
Well, we were all talking, more yelling out like, "Hey, on the right." Yeah, I was more calling them out because I was tired of missing. I'll call them out for you guys. But we all got to talk and communicate, and I think the cool thing for me is I just love people. I really do. I love people. I love their background, their culture, their story. I want to know what makes them tick. I want to know what, when they wake up in the morning, why do you do what you do? Are you just someone that goes through the motion? I want to be someone to encourage you. If you're someone that's really fired up, then I want to be someone to do life with you. If you're someone that gets down, I want to be someone that does life. I'll get down in the mud with you and pull you up. And I think that doing stuff like that, I thought it was really cool of DA because he did something similar. We didn't go bow fishing my rookie year in Oakland, but we did a team event, and it was cool, man. You're in a group with the guys that you're not usually in the meeting room with, and it's linebacker, DN, receivers, tight ends, quarterback, everyone's mixed with a position coach and all that. And I think that's how you just continue to make that team stronger. And so there wasn't really too many detailed stories about anything like that. More just funny stories and laughs and a lot of fish missed. We did get a couple though.
You talk about kind of integrating yourself with the community, I guess. A lot of LSU fans here. I think you went to college with Aaron Judge. Yep. Are you a baseball fan? Your neighbors watching like LSU in the College World Series? Do you have to listen to that talk sometimes?
Oh yeah, I'm learning. So yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning that there's only one kind of SEC football in Tulane here. Like that's it. Like Fresno State does not exist. I've learned that real quick. But yeah, I know that the LSU team, like they got a couple guys that should go pretty high in the draft. And for my boys, it's cool for them to look up to someone local. You know, as my kids. They want to wear the glasses. They want to do the little thing on third base and look cool when they hit a home run off dad in the front yard. You know, they're getting into it now. And so for them to be local and hopefully be able to take them up, you know, at some point and show them some games and stuff like that, it's cool for me. Because I'm not going to lie to you, my boys, you know, they've been wearing LSU stuff for a couple of years. Because when Jake Peets was over there, he was my coach with the Raiders. He sent them a whole bunch of LSU gear when he was the offensive coordinator up there. So he sent them a whole bunch of stuff. So they've been wearing it. And so that's why I got my purple on today.
Dave, you mentioned just not feeling like everything has to be perfect all the time for you. Like when you don't feel that pressure, like can you play with more freedom? How does that kind of affect your mentality? Like it's not.
Yeah, if I'm honest, yeah, which I always am. So I don't know why I said that, but you know, over my 9 years, it's there's been times where I know that I have to play pretty perfect to give us the best chance, and I always hold myself to that standard. So it's not like, oh, I get to chill now. You know, that'll never be the case. And with that, you still just want to go out there and just push yourself to make the right decision every single time. Like I said, chasing perfection, knowing you'll never get there. And for me, I'm trying my best to make those right decisions. Like, you know, if it's a time in the game where, hey, we need that throw, there's 15 seconds left, I got to make that throw. It's fourth down, you got to make the throw, you know. And I've learned those hard lessons over the years, and you know, you grow and you learn. But like I said, I'm not going to go out there and, you know, feel like I have to put it in tight windows every time. You know, like I said, I can't help myself every now and then. I'm going to try and it's going to work. Everyone's going to be happy and it's going to get picked. Everyone's going to get mad. You know, like, you know, hopefully it doesn't, but you know, there's going to be time and a place for it. But I don't have to do it all the time. You know, I can check the ball down because we have guys that still could get the first down. You know, we still have guys that can move the sticks. You know, you got a guy like Taysom who's bigger than this stage. You know, you give the ball to him and he's faster than my truck. You know, like he runs through and he runs over a couple guys and he gets first down. You watch it on tape, it happens over and over and over again. And you begin to, I've been really studying Drew, you know, and the way that he made decisions, because now I know the offense, right, a little bit. And, you know, and as you continue to watch him, you understand why he's making certain decisions, because he was around these guys more times than I've been around them. And so he has more reps with them. So I'm watching, why did he do it? Makes sense, because he's used to, this guy keeps picking up that first down or this guy keeps making that catch. And I'm trying my best to get as far ahead as I can so I don't feel like it's just year one again. You know, I'm trying. I learned, you know, my lesson last year. I thought I was doing things the right way, but I think I'm better at attacking it this year in that aspect.
How far back have you watched the Saints? You kind of like working like season by season back, or what's that process? I
won't say, because someone's just going to tweet it and be like, oh, he's watched all this. You know, like I've watched a lot. Yeah, I've watched a lot of film. A lot of plays. I've watched a lot of plays.
Derek, would you say that the mental part of this game is just as important as the physical, if not more important?
Yeah, absolutely. And being available. You know, that's what coaches have always got to be available. And the mental side is just as important as the physical. And so, you know, the workouts and you have to do the workouts. That's the physical side. The studying and the understanding. You know, the mental side of the game, the decision making. We talk about making fast decisions all the time. Even if it's a wrong one, make a fast decision, you know, and we can correct off of that. But if you make a slow decision, it's hard to correct off of. And so, you know, for me, you got to be mentally quick, mentally sharp. And Coach Gruden was someone that taught me that, you know, arm quickness, body quickness, and mental quickness. You know, you got to have that quick mind to see it, boom, call it, change the play, snap the ball, and everyone's on the same page, you know. And that's just how I'm used to playing, because that's how I was trained. And so, you know, for me, the mental side absolutely is a huge deal.
Have you had any moments yet with the offense? I understand there's a lot of idiosyncratic nature to it because it built it all with Drew here.
Yep.
So there's like, I don't know, always that go to nowhere in the playbook. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Have you had some of that yet, where it's just such a unique offense that branched out all those years under Drew?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you see like where they're at is like kind of where we were getting to with me and Gruden. You know, it's like if you were a rookie coming in that third, fourth year, it's like, where do I even start to study? You know, because we were so far down the road and we'd say something. They were like, "What's that?" I'm like, "What do you mean, what's that?" It's, like we forget it was 2.5 years ago that we even installed it, And so, there is some of that. Like I asked a question today. I was like, "All right, look, why do y'all call this?" And then they said something. It's like, made perfect sense. I was like, okay, but it's one of those things that they've been doing it for so long, and that coming in that there'll be some stuff like that. But they've been in the same system for so long that they kind of, a little thing here, a little thing there. It's kind of like, oh yeah, it's this, And so I've been trying to ask every question possible. Even if I kind of know the answer, I just ask it again just to make sure, because I know that can happen because I lived it, with me and Gru. Guys would come in and it was unbelievable that if you were a young guy playing for the Raiders at that time, you could tell that they were mentally sharp because what they had to cover and what they had to understand, the checks we were making. I'd check to something in a game that was not even in the game plan. It was something from 2 years ago. We would just see it and I'd check to it and we'd throw it. And so those guys had to be on top of it for sure. So I see the same thing here, and it's I love that. That's like my coffee in the morning. Like that gets me excited. So.
What are you learning? What are you doing this year that maybe you didn't do last year? You talked about lessons learned.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly are you doing in this offense and learning it and all these things? Maybe you wish that you could go back to last year and circumstances that you can't change.
Yeah.
Circumstances that you personally could control that you would do that.
Yeah. Some of them are personal. Some of them I don't want to give away because it's only my 10th year. I don't want some young guy to learn it. He's got to learn the lessons the hard way. But I would say that they just didn't get my best, and that drove me crazy at the end of the year because I felt so spread out in so many different ways that it's hard for you to understand because it's what's happening in my mind and in my life, But I felt so spread out and was trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to get the guys excited about a certain thing or a certain way, even though they could see on my face it was tough and things like that, in certain ways. And, I just didn't feel like myself. And I feel bad to the coaches and the players because they didn't get my best. And I tried. It wasn't like I wasn't trying to give it, but you sit back, you write it out and you learn. You're like, oh, wow, man, I got to do this, and this. Get back to making it simple and about team and about football, And, for me, I think I've tried my best to get back to that. Hopefully it leads to some success. Could be a great lesson for me to learn to help some guys down the road when they go through a coaching change or go through a shift in whatever they're doing. I think it'd be a great lesson for me to teach guys. Just some of the things I've learned over the last 12 months. But most of them are like personal kind of. I don't want someone will say something about somebody. I'll just skip all that. It's just certain things I learned that I could do better. So I could be at my best for this team.
Great.
Awesome. Thank you.